because you said that.
You fucking doofus.
Why would you say that to Tevin? What did he do to you?
I'm talking to you, freak.
He's talking to you, Joe? What?
Talking to you. Look at my finger through your stupid fucking monitor.
Man, what we doing, bro? What we doing? Come on.
We're shitting on Sean. I hate Sean.
We're literally recording right now, Kiana.
Okay, all right.
Luis, can you like pull either your camera down or stand up?
I'll put his dick out.
Whoa. He's gonna have to bleep that. That's like the first 30 seconds.
You think I'm bleeping that? I'm not bleeping that.
You got to.
On YouTube?
That's demonetization. Yeah, that's demonetization. It was gonna
we aren't even monetized yet.
We'll never get paid.
I said fuck like 15 times at the beginning.
Yeah.
Whatever. Is it fine?
Yeah, you look good.
Hey, Ms. Moderator, it's your job to speed us through these topics.
All
so you can
right.
get off early.
Welcome to episode 3 of the Usual Spot podcast. I am the one and only Miss Moderator, or Kiana. That's my government. And we've got an amazing, don't do that, Joe. We've got an amazing panel starting from the top and working. I'm not going to finish that sentence because that is a pause. But I am going to go through and name our wonderful cast.
Wait, don't say the location of them. Just say them. Because your location isn't our location.
Oh, who is you? Come on.
Oh, she done got to start on this.
She's the moderator. Her location is the location.
But yes.
Yeah, but I'll be editing this.
Let's go through and name. Let's go through and name our wonderful cast. We've got Tevin, Young X Chaos. We've got Dell, Mr. Military. We've got Carl. We've got.
No, Sean. I'm sorry.
I hate this nigga, bro.
Oh, we've got Sean, and we've got Buku Joe. All right, we've got a really good set of topics. They are small but mighty, and let's just get right into it.
You really resaid that. That's crazy,
bro.
Okay, let's jump right into one of the bigger things going on in the gamer world right now. Expedition 33. It is one of the highest rated games of all time based off of the user and the critic score. We've got our one and only Robert Pattinson as the face of the game and Daredevil as the voice of the game. Is this like a turn, you know, in the gamer RPG world? Are RPG games back? Let's just go right into it and unpack it. I'm gonna start with Young X Chaos.
Well, turn-based games never left.
Thank you.
You know, we seen the tweets like Square Enix is scared of doing et cetera, and it's like, no, buddy. Square Enix been putting these games out. You just don't look at them if they're not Final Fantasy coded or if they don't have the name Final Fantasy on them. Like Out the Bell Traveler was so successful that it got a sequel. It might be getting another sequel. I don't know.
Which game?
Octopath?
Octopath Traveler.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I agree with you, but I have different points.
Yeah. We getting so many remakes of old games that'll come out. We're back on the Dragon Quest 12. People are still eagerly waiting on. Dragon Quest 11. I'm pretty sure did pretty well. Yeah, it's just too many games out like from Legacy series that people still care about. For people to be like, yeah, now they're bringing it back. It's like, no, they're bringing back a specific portion of it that's been going on a long time. The Legend of Dragoon-ish action where a player can do things on their turn as well as like the opponent's turn, and they have more agency, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But even that kind of stuff already exists in a different genre, I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
Dragoon and agency, I love that. Del, did you wanna share your thoughts next?
I agree with Tev. I think just last year we had fucking Infinite Wealth, we had fucking Persona 3 Reload. A lot of them I'm forgetting. I thought we were just talking about turn
Metaphor.
based.
We had Metaphor, Fantasio.
It's
Metaphor.
Fucking play.
Shut up, Louise. I'm finna play it. Oh my god, I wanna fucking kill you. Anyway,
I play all the games. I play all the games you want me to play.
bro.
I
This
play all
man
the fucking games.
he finishes his first
kill
Atlas
you.
game, and now he's like,
crazy.
"Oh my god, you guys don't want to play
it's 'cause
Atlas."
I play. It's
Like,
because I
shut
play
up.
all the games
just
you
got
asked me
here.
to play. And you
But
haven't
this
played
is
any
what
of
he
the
did
games
with
I wa-
this is what he did with Yakuza, and you let him do it. Like, I mean, of course he's gonna do it here.
Y'all are
You
gonna
let-
piss me
He,
off.
You let him
I'm
do
just
it.
because
Told y'all
I'm
I've
a
been
chill.
playing fucking SMT games. Shut up.
Whatever, brother. Anywho, yeah, like I said, I agree with Tev. I think that people like to look at like a recent like thing popping off as like, oh my god, like this is like never happened before. Like, oh my god, like this is just out of nowhere, as if like there isn't like a gradual um trend to these sorts of things like happening. I think that developers are continuing to be inspired by like the turn-based genre, um and uh yeah, I think this is like not the beginning of like, I think like we've been in a renaissance of like just good JRPGs. Turn-based specifically like has been really good. So yeah.
Okay.
I got something to say about it though.
Go ahead.
Look, I think what you guys are saying is valid, right? It's valid, but
Contrarian.
I do no. I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I kind of want to talk about. Clearly, I think this is a thing where it's like more Western audiences are kind of noticing like the turn-based RPG thing, because these games are kind of breaking out of their own shell and getting into like the mainstream space because of how well they're doing. Like you see what happened with Baldur's Gate. You kind of saw what happened with Metaphor. I don't know if I could you attribute that to Metaphor? Like it broke out of the space and kind of got to like the Western like casual gamer audience a bit. Like, would you say that or no?
I'd say
The
so.
biggest
I'd
game
say
in the world
just
is a
wasn't.
turn-based game, man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
The biggest game in
The
the
biggest
world.
game in the world is
Whoa,
yes,
welcome,
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Josuke.
yes, Pokemon.
Oh.
Let's talk about
Oh,
it.
he's
Like,
talking
come
about.
on.
Anyways, we were talking about real
As-
games.
It's the big.
Wait, let him cook.
Just because you can't even beat
Look.
Fire Red doesn't
Let
mean
him
that
cook.
you
Let
that
him
it's not
cook.
a real game. All right.
Let him cook.
I know you play all your little niche games, and you know that makes you
You're
feel
not
like
wrong.
you're a gamer
Oh,
for
brother.
real.
It's rock,
But
paper,
us
scissors.
real niggas
alright?
in the field.
Yes,
If it's rock
It's
paper
rock,
scissors,
paper, scissors
why you
with
can't?
some
Why
fucking
you always
hedgehogs
be
and
throwing
shit.
out dirt?
I mean, that's turn-based.
If it's
combat,
rock
no.
paper scissors, why you throwing dirt?
Thought so.
But
You mad? You mad? You don't get the turn-based skills in that? Come on,
What
bruh.
I
You
guess
ain't
what-
thinking for real. You ain't
Brother.
thinking for real.
I guess what I
See,
wanna
you
talk
in your bubble. You're in the bubble that the Western world is in. Is like, if it's not like Tevis, it's not Final Fantasy. It's not Metaphor. It's not Persona. That's not turn-based for real. Man,
Oh,
Pokemon is
damn.
the turn-based. You got to give it
Yes,
its
it
respect
is.
for real.
Damn,
And since that's the
Carl is
biggest
like
one,
that.
niggas know
It's
about
the
it. They just gotta
most
hate.
boring
They just gotta
turn-based.
hate.
Damn,
You
I
know
didn't
why
Carl
people
was
say
like
So
saying
okay,
RPG
but okay,
are
to
back?
Joe, no, to
It's
Joe's
because
point, though.
Pokemon has gotten so fucking stale with its mechanics. No one gives a shit.
Like
That's
what-
actually
what
not
is the-
true
what
because
is
it
the-
still
but
sells. So what are you saying?
what-
Are we
what
saying
is
sales
the-
or are we talking about public opinion? Because both are still high.
I'm talking about mechanics.
I
Marshawn,
don't know.
you
can go
Maybe we talk. Maybe we talk. So
Go
much
ahead,
shit
go
in
ahead,
the ser-
Sean. Go ahead.
Maybe we talk so much
Yeah, go ahead,
shit in the
Sean.
server that it's like we're probably being a bit unfair to Pokemon. But I want to know, like, what is it that's making people think this when there's evidence out there of turn-based games being successful and breaking into
are
mainstream in
people
the last
thinking
couple of
this?
years?
Are
Yeah,
people thinking
I've
this, or
I've
are
seen it. I've seen it
journalists
on my
just saying
TL.
it?
I've seen it on my TL. Wait, that's like similar. Like there's journalists saying it. There's
No, I
regular
think
people saying it too as well.
journalists. Well, what I'm saying is, I feel like journalists would say it, so you click on the article. But are people saying this? Like, Metaphor was a big game last year.
I haven't seen. And I'm not saying that it's not true. I haven't seen journalists have these conversations. I've been seeing people on my TL, and you can, discredit it as Twitter. Like, it's up to you if you want to use that as like whatever type of evidence or not. But I've seen people having the discourse surrounding like this game in particular being something that's bringing the thing back, or like bringing this style of game back. And I think it's interesting, not because I agree with what they're saying, but I think it's interesting because, like, why is it a conversation when there's evidence of games being successful in the past that like you can pull from, that's one game of the year that's been nominated for game of the year, that's getting the praise it deserves. It's being rated high by critics and users as well. Like, and even to a bit to Joe's point, you have Pokemon, which is like the biggest game in the world, if not one of the biggest games in the world. That's like a constant constantly like coming back around with new games to come out and people get excited for, and they do a shit ton of sales and stuff like that. Like, what is the conversation surrounding turn-based RPGs where they just automatically get discounted for it, like stuff that they do that people just don't notice it? Like,
You know what I think it could be is just like the retention of them. Like a
mm.
turn-based game is usually like a very finite thing. Like the content that you get with it is not something that is like as live service or like uh frequently like updated. And so like when you get your thing and you get your experience and you're done with it, and then you move on to the next thing. These other games like um uh they a lot of companies have molded them to be where they're like have a lot more longevity so that they're constantly relevant. Like the shooters, even some of these action games are getting like more content, more expansions, like more things to like keep them alive, like
Mhm.
well into the year. And so you'll get your super long RPG, and that'll be like the thing that's like very hot for the month, and then you kind of don't hear no one talking about it because that's just the way those games live and die. It's just like it's really hot moment. So maybe that's it. Like they're just not designed to like keep people's attention for a long period of time to where people remember like, oh shit, like we just had a bunch of these games come out last year.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that
And
like, because like what makes these games different from like those other games? Because like these games
my
get
Yeah, like
my
DLC, they
it's,
get
opinion is
updates,
it's just an
they
optic.
get big
It's
updates and
just an
shit.
optics thing in my opinion. It's
I
the
think,
same way how like
yeah.
niggas would say, "Oh yeah, platformers are back because a new Mario game dropped." When there's like millions of platformers that drop and a
Mhm.
lot that do successful, i.e., Astrobot. It's like you have like such a like people have such a niche concept and understanding, especially for game mechanics that are so old. They tie them with these certain things. So when something comes out that is new but is so similar to what you like know it as, even if there have been other genres, I mean other games of the same genre, they don't have the same aesthetic. So you don't view it as the same thing, even though it technically is.
Mm.
Like a lot of niggas just know, sports games, shooters, RPGs. And
Hmm.
like you
But
have a big
that's like
niche of
Western.
these
That's like the
turn-based.
Western
Yeah, exactly.
audience though
Yeah,
too.
that's just how they view like their video games. Like you have a lot of turn-based RPGs, but you don't view them as turn-based RPGs. Like I know like Luis is joking, but like a lot of niggas don't consider Pokemon turn-based RPG because like they just don't view Pokemon in that same scale as they would like a Final Fantasy because of how they grew up playing those games differently, respectfully.
Do you
So
think it's like
it's
an
just I think it's just a conversation like that.
not like an illiteracy thing, but just like a thing of them just not knowing, right? Like,
Yeah,
you know
it's
how
more
like when
ignorance.
people, do the whole like, oh, is Dragon Ball Z like anime type of thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
like
Literally,
Well,
that's exactly
them
what it
just
Pokemon
is.
not
Pokemon
Exactly
would
knowing,
what it
still
is.
be the
or
example.
like is Pokemon anime or whatever the case is, right? Like they
Yeah.
have, there's that weird like
Yeah,
think of
because it's
what
so
they
it's
see it
it
as
broke out. It
versus what
seems like it broke out of
it
its niche
is.
so much
I
that it
Yeah,
just isn't like it made it feel like it's its own kind of game style when it is like that's a turn-based
it
RPG.
literally what it
But
is. Yeah.
yeah,
I,
like that's just what it is. But it became so popular, it became so big on its own, and then like it broke out of that. And like other games, like they kind of not fail, but like they get the downfall of that aspect and not being included in these conversations because like they are these great games, and like you say they're a great game, but you just won't consider it be like, oh yeah, that's a great turn-based RPG, even though fundamentally that's exactly what it is.
You know what? You know what? And one more thing to that point, is I think maybe gaming has propelled itself to like this like one of the biggest like forms of media over the last like what 5 years, almost close to a decade now, like since it's just been going on the rise. And so I feel like you have a lot more people that are in the gaming space or in these conversations, and they're just now having a understanding of how to categorize certain games, as confusing as it is, right? But like how to play certain games in these different genres or spots and shit like that. And maybe there's like more of a, since there is more of an understanding, they just didn't know that these games that they were interacting with or games that they've seen other people interact with were a part of these genres in terms of like how successful they were. They just didn't put it in that box or whatever the case is. Like it could just be like a lot of new people in the space saying a bunch of shit that they don't really have the knowledge on, but they are understanding it now, and then kind of like speaking out of turn and not knowing. Maybe
I'm
it could be
not
something like
gonna
that.
say all that if that's like if anything, I'll just chalk it up to this was on Game Pass and Metaphor wasn't, and Yakuza wasn't, so they didn't play those. And Metaphor was like 100 hours long. I don't know how long Expedition is, but Metaphor was also like a time commitment.
So you throwing this on the Xbox niggas?
Persona 3 was on Xbox on Game Pass.
That was a remake.
What
But
is
it still did well, but it was a remake. It was a game that already existed. Like, I think for people to start being like RPGs are back, it's because it's a new IP. That's
I have been seeing something.
I don't get the sentiment at all, but I'm just trying to make sense of it, and that's what makes sense in my head.
I mean,
Maybe it's the Xbox niggas.
I do think it's something to like a bunch of new people playing it, because I do think this game is like, while it is very much turn based, I think for people that have like, they may have issues with the traditional turn based combat, being able to actually do something on your turn instead of like having to take a random amount of damage because you press defend, like
Yeah.
making it more
It's
skill based,
damn near
and
a
like
rhythm game.
and dodge based, and like I think people like that. And like I've seen people calling this like turn based Sekiro. And it's like,
I saw that
okay,
today. I
and
saw that
it's
today.
like those are the
Because it has a
type of
brain
people.
Oh my god!
Those are the type of people we have playing these games now, and so it's like, of course, they're gonna come in and be like, "Oh man, I've never seen any of this before. Like, this is completely new to me. This whole genre."
That's funny.
It's because
Yeah.
they like that portion of it, and in any other type of game, they probably would never touch it because it doesn't have that. Doesn't have any of that stuff in it.
Okay, I think that's a good stopping point.
game?
It's
Okay,
moderator moderating. Yes, ma'am.
Well,
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a good stopping point. I think we can kind of just button that up to turn-based RPG games never left. Y'all are just not locked in. All right, next
like that.
section. So that was our only game topic for today's pod. We are going to move over to TV and film a bit. Let's talk. Do you guys want to do Sinners spoilers finally, or talk episodes 2 and 3 of The Last of Us?
I guess
I'm
we could get
really
2 and 3 of The Last of Us out of the way because Sinner's
Okay.
probably going to be a longer conversation.
All
You
right,
think
so
so?
I'm
You think?
actually
I think it's
There's
gonna be.
more
I think it's the opposite.
people
I think Sinners is
that
gonna be
I
a
think
quick
it's
one.
the opposite.
I think there are more people that
I think
watch
Sinners.
Sinners. I mean, yeah, there's more
Fair,
people
fair,
that talk
fair.
Sinners as a movie.
That's
I'm
fair.
gonna try to keep it. I'm gonna keep it brief. I already know what I feel like saying.
Let's start with Carl for The Last of Us since he just finished the episode 25 minutes ago.
So what? We're talking 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
I thought 2 was solid. I was curious as to what the changes were gonna amount to as far as like what characters were with who. I thought the battle at Jackson was neat. I wasn't it was cool. Like I was like, this is neat that we get to see this. And I think the big moment that everyone was waiting for was brutal, at least for me. Like I felt the same pit in my stomach that I felt when I watched it happen in the game.
Here comes the butt.
Uh It could have though. There's no real but. Like it could have been more. It was less. I think it was less gruesome than the game, but it's like I'm not. That's not a big deal for
what
me.
makes you say that?
You damn near. Okay, I guess we're already past the point of spoilers, but like, dude, you
Spoiler
damn near.
Yeah, we're
alert!
doing
Spoiler
spoilers. Yeah, we're
alert!
doing spoilers.
Spoiler
You
alert!
damn near see his fucking
Yeah.
leg come off. You see the bottom of his foot hanging by like a few threads of
Yeah.
meat in the game.
You see his brain. You see like his some of his brain on the
matter,
golf
like,
club.
on the golf club.
Like it's brutal. I think the fact that they didn't go for the golf club to the head thing it's proving my point of like they chose the less brutal route, which is like
That's
I'm okay
interesting
with it. I don't mind it.
That's interesting that you say that because like I saw I think they're both brutal in their own way, but like the idea of, especially when they bring it back in the third episode, of her like taking the sharp golf club and stabbing it in his neck.
I don't think that's as
pretty
brutal
rough
as a blunt force object into your head multiple times.
I think the fact that they were okay showing that and they weren't okay showing the golf club like cracking open his skull, like
they never show it in the game.
Yes, they do.
They don't show the golf club cracking open his skull.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they show it from a different perspective. We see the golf club. We don't see his head. They literally.
I'm saying that the fact that they were okay with showing it in the show and not showing it in the game is to Luis's point that like the game was more brutal because they just felt like
even the implied violence of not directly seeing it is still more brutal than stabbing a neck.
I just want to say this is gonna sound super nerdy, and maybe I'm overlooking things. I think that regardless of ruthlessness, I think they would have showed, like, even if they would have hit him in the head with a club, I think they would have showed that because like as like dumb as it sounds, you got to show the death on TV. Like you can't, because the movie rule of if you don't see the death and the character's not dead, you have to show the death. So regardless, and then I think they did, like, it ended with the stab due to the already brutal beating that Abby gave to Joel. Like the fact that you see so much of that too.
They shoot him after
ending that with him just getting hit.
No.
No one shoots him after? Okay.
No.
So like I think after like you show the brutality of that, like that's already beyond getting hit in the head with the club, in my opinion. And then you end that with the stab. It's just like that's the totality of like that. Like that's brutal. Like I think that was really brutal just in totality, and I liked how they did that compared to how it was in the game.
So okay,
but that was
and in my mind, like when I saw, like when I was watching the episode, I was like, I felt like the game was like much more brutal, and it could just have been like me not what's that? I don't know what the word is, but like, you know, when something happens and you just kind of exaggerate it in your mind, like a bit, like because of how like gruesome it might have felt at the moment, it just feels worse than what it was. When I went to go like watch it back in comparison to the scene that they show in the show, like I was like, oh, like both of them are bad, but I'm just like, this wasn't as bad as like my brain kind of made it be. Like it's bad because of like my attachment to the character and like the sounds and all of the things that kind of go into it, but it just wasn't as bad as like I had thought. And so when I went back and I watched it, I was like, oh, there's a lot of things that they didn't do that I thought that they did. Like how Luis was talking about, I thought that we saw him get his brain bashed in, and then when I went to go watch it back, it was just like the golf club that we see, and we kind of see, you know, a bit of his brain and like this and that and third, but we don't really like see it actually. And I thought that we saw Abby like whooping his ass like that whole time, but no, we saw Abby hit him a couple times, just like how they do in the show, and then they cut to something else. And then like there's a lot that like I was just like misremembering or kind of like, you know, exaggerating in my mind. But yeah, we kind of cut in between Luis's thoughts about episode 2 and then 3. So
yeah, it wasn't bad. I was just saying like it felt tamer to me. I think I think getting bashed in the head and seeing like brain matter on a golf club is a lot more brutal just because it's almost more of a, not disgraceful, but just fucked up way to go out as opposed to like a stabbing in the neck, which is still bad, but it's something about the image of the person you're seeing ending up that way that just feels a bit heavier. but it's
It
not
is a bit.
even
It is a
big
bit
deal.
disgraceful too, though.
Right?
Like it's
Like-
not like a graceful death. It's not like
No.
there's no mercy.
It's
about
like
it, so-
it's like when mobsters shoot a guy in the head to have him do a closed casket funeral.
Yeah.
It's like it's just more, But
Mhm.
that's besides the point. I think episode 3 is the one that I'm kind of
That's the butt that I
not
was talking
feeling. Oh
It's the
yeah,
big
I ain't like that episode. I think I like maybe the last 10 minutes of the episode.
Mhm.
about because that's the game.
No, because
Oh God! Don't do this stuff. Don't lead him. Let him talk.
no, it's because everything in Jackson felt so over the head, just banging it, just like we're gonna make
I
sure
knew
you get it, guys.
I was watching it and I was like, it's somebody that's gonna go look. All the things that were like present in the game that they didn't tell you. This is everybody in Jackson.
But it's
going,
not just
hey,
about
this
a
is what it
game
is.
purist. But it's not just a game purist thing. It's just a storytelling thing. It feels like you don't trust me as the audience to understand that vengeance is bad. So you're gonna have like
I
3 people stand
I
up
knew
and be like, "Hey guys, vengeance is bad, and we should not be doing this." And then someone else is gonna be like, "Ellie, vengeance is bad." And then Ellie's gonna be like, "I know vengeance is bad, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna just lie to get out of the hospital." It's like, dude, just do that. Just tell the story.
Yeah.
If you have to explain it to me
I-
beforehand, it's not as engaging. It feels like being spoon
It feels like
fed.
they're holding your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
wouldn't
How
even
did
say
you
it like that. I just want to say this real quick. I like how Luis is saying it. I think the issue is just like you said, it's over the head. Like to me, and this is just maybe my simple view. This like the beginning part of the episode, it felt like like we're trying to make this as long as possible. That it felt like that kind of fluff where there are important things in it. I feel like, but it just gets drawn out so much that it gets tedious, and it's like, all right, like you're like can we get to the point a little bit quicker? Like there's more that you can tell here, and you're just like you're trying to waste time and pad the runtime. In my opinion, it really feels like you're padding the runtime with a lot of things that were going on. When like Luis said, we even if you want to like quote unquote say that like you need to feed the audience, you fed them. You're giving them seconds, you're giving them thirds, and you're giving them dessert. Like why do we need to keep
Dude,
eating at this point?
when
Like
that
I'm
guy-
full. I promise you, I'm full right now.
When
Yo,
that
But
guy,
it's just tiring.
when that guy
I-
stood
it's
up
just
at the
facts. It's just
fucking town
facts.
hall shit
Crazy.
and gave that whole speech, I'm like,
Hold on,
wow.
No,
we're
I fuck with
really
with Seth for that. I fuck with Seth for that.
I like what they're doing with Seth
No, I
Seth,
think he's
right?
talking about something else.
Yes, yeah, I did like that
Seth-
moment too.
Oh.
I like that moment too.
The
think
guy
he's
that
talking about
stood up
someone
and
else.
was like,
He was
vengeance
upset?
is bad. No.
Oh no,
Yeah, he's talking about the other
No,
dude.
I
You're talking about the Christian guy.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we're here. We're
That
here.
I didn't mind.
I think
The Christian guy, when that
okay.
guy stood up and started giving his whole spiel, I'm like, we're really doing this.
It's like,
Like,
oh,
you are really.
shut the fuck up.
It got to a point where I was like, you might as well have Neil Druckmann come out in a suit and be like, guys,
I hate that
vengeance is
so much. I hate that so much because
this is
it
a
doesn't.
bad thing that's happening.
I hate
guys.
that
We
so
That's
can't
much.
actually
let
fucking
vengeance
hilarious.
That's
Like,
fuel
hey,
so.
hey,
That's
It was
so
so
no,
fucking in
Hey,
your
guys.
face of just like,
Oh,
you
bro,
guys
just
get
in
it?
case you didn't
Do
know.
you guys get it?
Brother,
Vengeance is
Just in
bad. You
case
shouldn't
didn't
do
fucking
it.
know.
God forbid we have a bunch of people with differing opinions in one place, and then we have somebody stand up.
It's
and
not
give
even
their
about
opinion
that
that's
because
different.
the lady that spoke before him that got up on the thing and was like, yo, we don't have the numbers right now. We just
Yeah.
got hit and you want us to send 16 of our best people? Like, we can't
Doesn't
do
make
that.
sense.
I'm like, oh,
I
that's
think, but
valid.
I like that though. I
But
like
that's
that.
a different
That's valid.
opinion.
That's
That's what I'm
valid
saying.
thing to
That's
say.
a different
The guy that's
opinion.
standing up and
Vengeance
giving
is
the
bad
fucking
is a different
speech about
opinion than the one
morality.
she was
Hold on,
giving. It's a
hold on.
different
Let's do one at a
perspective.
time, guys.
Okay.
There's different perspectives. You can't be like, yeah, I like this because that's a different opinion, and then somebody can actually have the vengeance is bad opinion, and then you'd be like, no, I don't want to hear that. That's them beating it over the head. No, it's somebody with a different opinion. That opinion is different than I don't want you to take 16 of our people. That's different. Those
I
are different
think-
opinions.
I don't think
are two
it's
different opinions.
I don't think it's bad to have a character be like, yo, we should just let this go. Because there were a few people that were like, we should actually just let this go. But to have a character spell it out for you, to spell out the whole fucking message of the entire thing when we still have how many episodes left to go, it's like, it's the way he said it. It's not what he said. It's how
Okay.
heavy-handed it was.
I just feel like things might be
it's
so
pretty
different
realistic,
in
though.
the things might be so different in the
is.
future that this might not be the only thing they're trying to get across now. So
Yeah.
like, I'm not mad at somebody
another
doing
thing.
this
I don't know
right
what they're doing
now
with the
if in the
Seraphis.
end things are like different, because it's like, sure, in the end that's what you walk away with, but clearly they're doing things a little different here. So maybe they're trying to add things, they're trying to like tell different give different lessons here. Like it might not just be
I
yeah,
hope so.
revenge is bad.
I think this episode is going to be very telling for the rest of the series and where it's going to go, because we got through the big moment, and so now I feel like this is where characters and the show is going to have to find its own identity that's separate from the game, and it seems like they are going in directions that it's I think it's a bit scary, but I'm not like super no, I don't want this. If you decide to do things on your own in a way where you're still carrying the heart of the show, you're still carrying the heart of like the narrative, but you do it in a maybe a different way here and there or whatever, I'm cool with that. So I'm very cautious about what's happening.
How do you feel
because
about the
they're doing
Seraphites
things
stuff?
with Tommy. You said
Oh.
the Seraph?
The
Wait,
Seraphites.
Seraphites.
Is that how you say it? The cultist
Seraphim.
people, Seraphim.
The scars?
This-
Oh wait.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, I guess is that the wrong
That's what
thing
they
to
call
them? that might be the
the
wrong thing to call.
WLF calls them that.
The scars. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sorry.
call themselves Seraphites. I'm pretty sure.
I thought
my
I thought that stuff was interesting. I want to see what they're gonna.
One Piece shit. I'm tripping.
Huh?
It's
Oh.
Seraphites. I'm bugging.
I thought that stuff was interesting. I didn't really put too much thought into that because I was more so focused on what's going on with Tommy and what's going on with Ellie and what's gonna happen with that narrative. Like, because I personally, and I know this was an issue for some people that I've seen, I personally like the idea of Tommy going on like a vengeance tour, right? Like, or not a tour, but just like hunting after them, and then Ellie and Dina kind of following his trail, trying to figure out like where he is, like through the whole process, and him not wanting Ellie to be a part of this, but even though she was going to follow him anyway, like I enjoyed that part of it. I thought that was cool. And I think that this Tommy just feels very different because now when you add the Jackson stuff, it's like, yeah, it makes sense for him to want to stay where he is. So like, what are they gonna do later in the season that's gonna bring either Tommy to the spot so that we get the sniper scene, so that we get like, whatever those conversations that Ellie and Tommy have, or even like way later down the line, like what's going to invigorate Ellie to want to go and continue this whole process. Like, it's kind of scary to me, but at the same time, like I feel like there is a bit of leeway to kind of tell the story in a different way. It's just like, I just hope that they don't like go into character assassination. Like, the perfect way to describe like how scared I was, like when Ellie got up there and she was doing that whole justice talk, I was like, please don't do this. Like there's a part of me I was like, okay, like I think she's lying, right? Like I'm pretty sure she's just saying bullshit right now. And like, I hope it's not a situation where she was like really like contemplating this or thinking about this, because that is not who Ellie is at this moment in time. So I appreciate them for like kind of going back on that, but that portion scared me because I'm like, we're getting into unknown territory, and I pray to God they don't do these types of things. So I'm very cautious. I'm kind of scared, but I didn't hate last episode. There was a lot that I liked about it, but there was a lot that I was like, ooh, like I was like the whole time I'm like, ooh, like, wait, what are we doing? I don't know. Like I don't know if I like that. This is kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know.
The purists are shaking in their boots.
I just didn't like.
I'm scared, but I'm not a purist.
I didn't like the heavy-handed stuff. I'm curious to see what they do with the Seraphites, because they are seemingly painting them in a very different light than
like a good innocent, like an innocent light.
I don't know what it is. I just know that when we first saw the Seraphites they were hanging Abby.
Yeah.
And
wait, were they? Oh, you mean like
yes.
as a whole, or
just anything about
no. I'm thinking late game hanging, but
no. Dude, but the first, like one of the first teasers of that game was Abby getting hung and fighting off the Seraphites. So it's like,
I don't remember that. Okay,
very different introduction from that to
what we see.
we're just going
Yeah,
down the
but
trail and we're getting
but
mowed
them in
down.
general, they were a multifaceted group with a bunch of different people in the game. No, it
Were
wasn't just
they?
like a bunch of.
I remember them
Yes.
being
Wrap us up
religious
here,
Well,
Tevin.
zealots.
You can wrap us up here, Tevin.
I didn't have much to say on that. I just I think like they told that story already, you know. So it's like I'm not mad at them wanting to take a different stab at it. And yeah, I think the Seraphites, they were like a bunch of. I feel like the whole point is like everybody's not just this one thing. They're multiple things.
Were they though?
Yeah,
I
it
remember them just
wasn't
being
Lev a
religious
part of the
zealots,
wasn't
and that's why Lev had to
no
leave.
wasn't Lev a part of the Seraphites?
Yeah, but she
Yeah,
was.
but
He was leaving because of their religious oppression on him.
Yeah. But then they also had well, Yara and Lev were both like kind of
they were supporting each other, but they were fleeing.
But so to Luis's point, yeah, they're not the greatest people. So
as far as we're presented in the game, so maybe they're trying to change that,
maybe,
which is fine.
It could be,
I just want to see where it goes.
That's what I say. It could be a situation to like Tevis saying where we see both sides, right? But they're deciding to show us this side first, and that is probably intentional. I'm wondering what that's about. But I wonder how they'll handle WLF. Like, are they just going to be? Clearly, they just can't be that because Abby is with WLF, or where she was, or is, or well, whatever. But I'm just curious, like, how are they going to handle this in like from a narrative point of view? Because I'll be honest, if you're taking The Last of Us 2 as a game and trying to make it into like a narrative story in TV, it's not an easy thing to do based on how the game is structured. So that's why I feel like I'm probably giving it the most leeway, because I don't think the game is structured in a perfect way. And I think the way that they handle it in the game is very it's kind of it lends itself a bit more to that space than it would in TV. So I'm just here for the ride. I hope they just don't. I hope they don't assassinate characters. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'll just say this last thing.
Assassinate characters.
I think this. No. I think this episode is showing a little bit of cracks for me, and I think my biggest worry would be if they just overcorrected. If they took the response that people gave from the game and they overcorrect for this, I think that might be the worst possible outcome.
That's a problem.
But it wasn't bad enough for me to be upset and drop the show. I'll just see where it goes. I'm just trying to see if he cracks as well.
Okay.
Shout out Dina though.
Speaking of cracks, let's finally talk about Sinners. Our entire well, okay, that was supposed to be like a little play on words, like crackers, cracks. It was supposed to be a play on words. If you got it, you got it. Maybe the listeners got it. But our entire cast has finally seen Sinners. So yeah, let's get right into it. I would love to start with Josuke because he seems, even though we haven't had an in-depth conversation, but I want to say based off of the vague talks we have had, I want to say he had the lowest review of Sinners. So I would love to start with Josuke and this is spoiler talk, this is all the things. Let's get into it. I believe last week, Joe, you gave it a 7 or a 7.5. 7.5. Do you want to now give some specifics as to why you felt that way, and we can just kind of go from there?
I'll give it an 8 now, but I mean, that's the highest I'll go with it. I mean, I probably need to see it again, to be honest, but from what I remember, I feel like it would just introduce things, didn't flesh it out, and then try to like wow you, like, look how pretty this is, look how cool MBJ is with this poor accent that I will stand on. That shit's not the best. So I'm like, all right, whatever, nigga. You know what I mean? I'm watching this Flash Haley Steinfeld with that paper thin plot, you know, that whatever. So I just didn't like that the Native Americans never show up again. They're not explained. Their importance is never explained. Sammy's importance never explained, only implied. What else? Trying to remember. Oh man, they seem to have struggled really with like any type of sun or anything. But that one vampire who shows up out of fucking nowhere is baking in the sun and doesn't immediately die. Why is he important? Where is he from? What's his origin? We don't fucking know.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The guy who shows up and kills the lady and the dude with when the
Remick.
Native American
That's
people
That's
show up.
Remick. That's the same guy.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
No,
he's saying
he's saying like
he was
he's
only
saying like in
boiling
the
when you
end he
showed up.
died by the sun, but then he popped up with the sun rose. How is that possible? Type shit. That's what he's saying.
Oh, he was. I mean, well, he was outside struggling. I thought the only reason like it got as bad as it got was because they drove the stake in his heart too. Like it was like a mixture of all that, or maybe I'm tripping.
Everybody instantaneously burst into flames when the sun was at dawn. It was fucking high noon. He's out there having a full conversation.
Technically, it
Whatever.
was in the evening. It was evening time because the sun went down. Technically,
And he was under the shade of their
Not running up
porch.
there.
I agree with you to a certain extent though. Like though I have my issues are with the vampires portion of the movie. Like that's really my only issue with the movie. I think it's like I wouldn't take away the aspect of vampires. I just feel like I don't know, like it felt like a different movie, but also integral to the plot. I don't know how to really explain it. Like if I had to like retweak it just a little bit, and I'm not a filmmaker, but like if we got the remix scene earlier and like maybe spent just a little bit more time with him, not we don't have to flesh him out, I don't feel like, but like just spend more time with him as we're also spending time with the twins, and then we're building that up until the juke joint. I feel like that would have been a
It
little
would
bit
have
more
been much
impactful.
better.
Like
I'm
it just
watching this
feels
like when did these niggas start sinning?
like he just pops up, he takes over the couple, and then we see them again at the juke joint basically,
Yeah.
and then that's when stuff just starts like getting down to the fold, and it just felt like it's not rushed because I like the aspect of how it happens over a night, but I just feel like the vampires themselves were a rush concept for a
Yeah,
very good
absolutely.
movie. Cause like the movie, everything else, like I honestly, like I said, I wouldn't take out the vampires, but like that ending, Michael B. Jordan, smoking them niggas down. That's hard. That I love that. With the
I
Tommy
didn't have
gun,
issues
then
with
they
that.
popped
It
up with
just
the
felt
sniper.
like
Like
I
I
mean,
love
it
all
just
that, but
felt
then
like,
everything
hey,
else was
remember,
just
there's
Okay.
racism in this movie, and it just like threw it in there like really quick. Like, remember, there's
Well,
racism.
no,
I
the
don't
whole
know. It just
movie
felt
is
like,
built on racism. I don't
Race
know.
relations, yeah.
Yeah, I
I would
don't
bro,
say
know.
that.
bro.
They
It
were
was like,
that was like
and
a
I
main
would
theme. That was like an underlying
bro,
I
theme
would
we
it
have
were
to
talking
was,
about.
bro,
disagree.
it was
Like how do
so.
you
I would have
how
to
do you
disagree
forget?
slightly with your point about the Native Americans because I feel like the point of them was the connection to the hoodoo in Annie. Like
Yeah.
it's to show like they're the spiritual people. Like they're like we're trying to get this vampire. We're trying to tell you, hey, bro, like we're trying to protect you, and then we see like okay, it's about to be night.
All
We
right.
know what we need to do
Later.
to get away from the situation. Like
Yeah.
they
We
already
try to
know what's
help
about to
your
go
ass,
down.
brother.
The
Y'all
same
got
way,
it.
like
Y'all.
as soon as Annie figured out like that, to me it was like, and then when we see Annie and she's like, oh, these like either hates or vampires. Regardless, we got to keep them outside. We got to stay in and don't bother them. We about to like it. To me, it just showed that connection of like the spirituals, like knowing like, all right,
It
we're this is
grounded
what
the
we're dealing with. We know
mysticism
how to
of
deal
it
with
a
it.
bit.
Yeah, yeah, like it just
Having
yeah, exactly. They made it
characters
more
that
realistic, and it
yeah.
like it kind of it's that subtle world building that like
Yes, I
it's
was just
just
about to
quick
say
at
that.
like
That shit's
it's
so
just quick
fire, bro.
at you. Yeah, it's just real quick at you, but like it really like expounds upon every other thing in that movie. So I would slightly disagree because I don't feel like we need to know like why the Native Americans are there or like where they came. Like that doesn't matter. Like to me, that
Mhm.
literally none of that really matters. It's just the fact of like who we're dealing with now and why we're dealing with them. But the issue is like we started dealing with them so late, and it feels like yeah,
I think it's just a
like
neat
late,
way to
but
It would have
also
introduce
like
made
at the
them.
right
them. It would
time.
have made the vampires more interesting to me if we got
Mm.
more than Native Americans, or then like some kind of explanation or something. I just feel like they're here. There's no story about it. Whatever. Like I said, Sammy's importance. I don't understand it. I guess you got to imply some. You got to go and open a sacred text of some shit online and to figure it out or whatever. But I'm
No.
just like, and then I'm just. At first, I didn't like how it ended with, and this is just me watching this. I'm like, oh yeah, Smoke's definitely gonna survive that gunshot wound that's through and through. That hit nothing major, and then he just kind of like died. And I was just like, oh,
Well, he took
I
off the necklace.
Yeah,
yeah,
That
and
eventually
was
took
that's
the
like
mojo.
significant.
yeah, and then that like when that was explained to me, I missed that. So when that was explained to me after, I was like, oh, that's why I bumped it up to 8. Oh, that's kind of sick. I just wish he got shot up more. I'm saying wasn't
Yeah, I
it
mean, I
wasn't
can kind of
convincing
understand
at
that.
all. It was through and through,
Yeah.
through like the fleshy part. I'm like, this nigga's not gonna die from this. And then when he died, I'm like,
I think it
that's
was also a
shitty.
point of him giving up though. Like it was like that's why he took out the mojo. It's like it was just that
I mean, I
that
get it.
small
Shoot his
gunshot
ass
wound.
up more.
Yeah, I
You
get
can't
it, but
just
it's
give
like
up and be like, oh, I
he
give
could
up now. I'm gonna die. Like,
yeah, exactly. But I think that's what it was. Like he didn't have anything anymore. He lost his brother, he lost his girl, and he already had lost his child. It's
I
like
mean, yeah,
I I I I did what I needed to for my cousin, but like for me, there's nothing left in this world for me. So
yeah.
and
You should have
especially
shot himself again or
especially
something. That you sure he's
with
gonna
him
fucking die.
losing
That shit
stacks. I think
wouldn't
that
have
was the
like,
biggest
bro.
thing. I think that was the biggest thing, him losing stack, because it's like they
Hmm.
literally
I
was
I have a
through everything together.
question.
Yeah,
I have
and
a
then
And
when the
like
question.
brotherhood,
If
hold on,
anyone
real quick.
oh,
Then when the brotherhood was explained, like, oh, you know, that's why he. 'Cause at first, I was like, him stack survive. I didn't like that shit. When I was in the theater, I was like, I don't like that. Um, and
I
then
don't
I
like
was
it.
like,
I
I
still
didn't
don't like it.
like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like Haley
Wait,
Steinfeld. Like,
what
I
did
can
he
understand
like?
Haley Steinfeld's character. I
Stack
didn't like.
the
surviving.
fact that Stack survived,
Yeah, I didn't like that.
the fact
Oh,
that
that thing. Yeah,
Uh,
I wasn't a fan of that.
yeah, I was like, I don't like that. I didn't like. I was like, what is Haley Steinfeld's important to this, other than just being a white girl that Stack was fucking? I was kind of confused on why she was major at all, really, other than just being a vehicle to get bit, which that could have been anyone. So I kind of was confused by that, but um, yeah, that's pretty much how I felt about the movie. I give it an 8. I think the brotherhood thing, like, oh, they're just so close, you know, like I just know me without you, therefore that's why I let him live thing that people are trying to say, even though Smoke fucking died. So he clearly didn't care that Stack was gonna survive. He wanted to fucking die, which is it's just weird. Like,
because there was that's not his brother no more. Like that's his brother
Yeah, I mean he's
in
dead.
flesh, but
but
that's
he
not.
So
But that's
still
yeah, that's
considered him his brother enough to let him
is
survive.
that the case though?
It's what the case.
Because I had a question. My question
Yeah,
was
what's up?
that the lady, she was all like, "He's a haint. That's not your brother anymore. That's a haint, and he's just full of hate." And yada yada yada. She gives all these rules about it, and then after the fact, she's like, "My fault. It's actually a vampire," which I thought was cool. But now I'm confused as to like, okay, is all that stuff that does that still apply to this? Like, because if it doesn't,
but but
there seems to be
even
no
then she still gave
negatives
an
to being a
explanation of.
vampire.
No,
Well, the
she still gave an
sun,
explanation
She
of
still said
how they lose
something.
their like even as a vampire
and
they
garlic,
they lose their soul. Like that's her
steaks.
that's his brother's
It's
body, but
trapped.
he doesn't have his soul. Yeah, like
Yeah, it's like
it's
eternally
not the
trapped. Like they
same.
can't rest.
Yeah, it's not the same. Like that's no longer his brother. It's slightly different from a hate, but it's kind of similar. That's why like she was getting them both confused.
Okay,
But like
okay.
that, like she did explain it, that was no longer technically Stack, and that's why like all of them basically kind of like had the consciousness of Remick, but still, if you kill Remick, he's not gonna kill them all because like that's just the
So
explanation she gives. But
I
that was the
wonder.
whole thing.
I just think the
I
theming
don't.
kind of gets muddied with those rules and what they're trying
Yeah,
to say. I think that's my biggest
The
problem of like,
theming was getting
okay, so like,
everywhere.
is this saying that it's better to live soulless, or like, or is it just it is what it is, or like, it's just certain
I didn't
things
take it
in
that way.
that get a bit muddied.
I think it's
I
more
didn't
so
think
bringing
that
up
they
a
were trying
question.
to.
It's probably some love
I
triumph for
I
all
think it
type
brings up the
shit.
question of like are you your soul or what is a soul kind of sort of like because like how she said that that's no longer Stack, but Stack still respected the wishes of his brother Smoke to not harm Sammy. But and then even with that, he wanted to come at least hear Sammy play one more time how he did the first time that he heard him. So I think it brings up that themes of like, well, is that Stack? Because like that like why would this person hold those bonds to these people if not for the love that he has for them? But
Which
then
is
it
why I'm
also brings up the
saying like it
theming of
doesn't seem
like
like there was a negative here. You just can't go out in the sun.
Or garlic.
But I mean, like, when has
or
it ever been like a
steaks, or
crazy? Well, I don't know. I think the idea is like baseline vampire negative stuff because like just never, from most vampire movies that I've seen and things that surrounding that, like it doesn't really seem like it's just this terrible like thing to like live forever, right? But like you have the side of like, well, what does living forever present, right? It's like trapping your soul in a body that can never die, like those aspects of it. And I do think that they get into that in like a very shallow like way. He doesn't really go in depth to like what the negatives are, but I didn't look at that last scene as like the last scene, the end credit scene, as any type of way of like glorifying what them like doing their thing. One, because Michael B. Jordan looked goofy as hell in that outfit. Two,
That's a
because
fact.
Fresh
That's a
Fresh Prince
terrible
ass
fit.
he
outfit.
looks
Oh
so
my
fucking
gosh, that
terrible.
was the worst.
But
I
The
was like,
hair
why
was
would y'all do this?
red.
Why the fuck
Like,
would y'all do this? That
It's
shit
the
pissed me
90s,
off.
guys. Remember the
Haley-
90s?
Haley-
I'm like,
Haley-
oh.
Haley
didn't even
Take it apart.
look like
Guys,
she was
that's
in
the 90s.
Haley
It's
didn't even
hate.
look like
It's
she was in the
hate.
90s.
She
Haley
looked
did not
worse.
look like she was in the
bad
90s.
too
bro.
as well. I was like,
white.
can we just
Haley
go
didn't
back
even
to
look
what
like
she
she was
looked
in the
like
90s,
before?
bro.
Because I was like, this don't even look like,
Stop black
you
hate.
know what I'm saying?
Stop black hate.
No, bro, that outfit was terrible, and it took
That was a bad fit.
out of it, and it was kind of hard to like take whatever they were doing serious. Watching him like with those fucking different world Dwayne glasses on and that
Stop
big
black hate.
Coogee sweatshirt he had the fuck on with all the damn colors on, like that
With
shit
the
looked silly.
terrible juice cut. Hey man,
Nasty.
Michael
Stop
B.
black
Jordan, don't ever get a juice cut in your life, my nigga. Like
And I
you
fuck
can,
with
you
Michael
can rock
B.
other cuts.
Oh,
No
we
juice
know.
cuts, bro.
I
That
fuck
shit
with
is
Michael B.
not
Couldn't
it.
get
Whoever
his
was the
dick out your
stylist for
mouth,
that
Not
man.
scene,
it, brother.
whoever was the stylist for that scene, they need to go to hell because that shit was
You
ass.
can't. You
But
can't.
That was a
What?
bad fit, bro.
You can't fuck
But-
with
that
him
was
that
bad
much.
fits. Those are
You
bad
can't fuck with him
fits.
that much if you don't think he look good.
I
in
hope that
everything.
wasn't his call. I pray to God that wasn't his call.
Might
But
have been.
what
No, it
what
ain't.
I was saying was like
When I
that
watched
last
it,
scene
I
was just a
like,
bit. What'd you say?
It seemed like some 90s shit when I watched. I was like, oh, just like really sensationalized, kind of like 90s outfit. Like it
That's
didn't
what I'm
really.
saying. It was like,
It's like
remember the 90s?
it's like 90s if you're like dressing up for Halloween 90s.
It's like
that's how
Stranger
goofy
Things
it is.
How do you know?
It's not
Exactly.
subtle.
How would you
90s.
That's a perfect way of saying
It's
that.
not subtle.
That's a
90s.
perfect way of saying that.
What do you mean?
It
How
doesn't
would I
look like
know?
90s.
I've
I would
watched
know.
it. First of all, I have a shit ton of like experience with watching a bunch of 90s shit because of my dad, because like he was just obsessed with a lot of 90s TV shows, a lot of 90s movies and shit like that. So like I have a pretty good understanding of what the style looked like back then. And like the style was a bit more normal than the shit that he had on.
He
That
should
was like sure it could have been some 90s shit, but that's like goofy Halloween, like what you think like what Gen Zers think the 90s was like.
Yeah,
like I
he
don't know
shoulda
how else
came
to describe
in-
it. It was like too over the top. It wasn't like chill enough.
Or maybe
Yeah,
I'm
that
going
shit's
to a
like
party. Maybe I'm
sh-
going to a party and this is me dressed up to go to a party.
I tried to give him that excuse, but I couldn't. It just was like, huh. I don't know.
Like he should have.
Look.
He might as well have
I
like
need a
came
third
in on a
hand. I need a third
skateboard.
hand and a third thumb.
came in with a skateboard with those triangle glasses, drinking out of the tie-dye cups.
Sean would have loved that.
He's
Sean
like,
would love
no, I
That-
wouldn't.
he's gonna be like,
Kill me
man,
now.
your
He would've
guitar
loved
is
that.
so rad.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, that shit pissed me off. But what I was saying about that last scene was just like it just felt it felt a bit weird because it was like it wasn't like they were glorifying the vampire shit. It was more so it was supposed to be about Sammy, right? And it was supposed to be about blues music and that genre of blues music. That's what it's supposed to be about. And I think that is a cool like that's a cool concept to try to push, especially in this type of movie. It's different, it's nice, it's whatever. But the payoff didn't hit as hard because of what Josuke was saying. And I would my opinion is a little bit different than his because like I don't think like the Native Americans would have helped the vampire like
This is a
lore
cool
or
way to
like more of
introduce
that.
something. Yeah.
It was I think that's a cool way to introduce something. What I think would have like fixed the Sammy problem and the Remick problem is if we got more of an understanding of what Remick's goal was and why was he so intrigued by Sammy, right? Like that is the shit that I was like, okay, this is interesting, and they don't really do much with it. It's just like they kind of just like give you an excuse for them to have this kind of conversation towards the end, but they
I
don't
don't
really
agree with
build
that.
up to it well.
I don't
They
agree
don't
with
build up to it well. They don't like
I wanna-
establish
I
it
wanna,
like
yeah,
in a
I
way
was
where
I
it's
was
concrete.
telling
Let's
I was
let some
I
other
don't agree with that.
people. Let's do
I wanna
Carl.
Finish this one last
Okay,
point. I want to
okay.
finish this one last point real quick, and then y'all niggas can have at it. But the reason why I didn't like the stack surviving thing, because you said about glorifying the vampires, and I was just like, it seems kind of weird. It's like, yeah, you let him survive, and it's kind of saying like, yeah, if you love somebody, you can just let them go and murder a bunch of people. Essentially, is what it felt like. I'm like, that's what the Stack and Haley is going to do, or whatever. I forgot that motherfucker's name in the movie, but whatever the fuck her name was, gonna go and kill a bunch of motherfuckers. And I'm just like, I didn't like that message at the end, personally. Like, I feel like that's like undermining the whole, greater good kind of like. I feel like Smoke kind of shat all over his girl, like by letting the motherfucker survive. Personally,
Why do you think that?
Because her whole thing was not allowing them to, one, survive and to free his brother's soul. And he said, you know what, fuck that. And then now they're gonna roam the earth killing shit.
Why do you think that Smoke's girl cared that much about the world that she would care about them roaming the world to kill the people? Like, what makes
No,
you
I
think?
think he means
What?
more so that she was so adamant on not becoming a vampire.
Her herself.
Yeah, she was like, "Fucking kill me,
both.
dude."
Yeah, but that would be, to me, if he didn't kill her, I would understand what he's saying. But in terms of like his brother, that is his decision at the end of the day. She didn't seem it felt like she said that in a means to explain the issue, like the situation, right? Like their souls are trapped. Like it's a fucked up situation. It's not whatever. Like that's fucked up. But at the end of the day, it was Smoke's decision to decide if he was going to do that or not. Like, but I don't feel like that's shitting on his girl by letting Stack live. Like, I think, yeah, like if he let her live, that's shitty. Like that's like terrible. But their whole like arc and everything had, much to do with their unborn child and their relationship and things like that. Like to me, I think once he, called home and they, alluded them to going to heaven and things like that, like they're peaceful. Like I don't think she really gave a fuck about the world as like a whole, because I didn't really get that type of vibe from her from like any conversations they might have had. That's why I was asking the question. Like, what
she
was
didn't
it
come
about
off
him?
indifferent to that kind of stuff to me. I think she was like very careful, and I think she felt like, but I took it from the movies. I couldn't rewatch it and probably get a totally different vibe, but she seemed to like care about like, hey, these like things, we need to like handle these things. We need to be careful about these things. This is why I protect you, because like these things are out there and shit. So
I disagree.
that's what
I don't
like,
think she cared.
I just
Because I
didn't
think
like.
go
my
ahead,
fault.
Femi. My fault.
Oh yeah, I don't think she was like full on Vampire Hunter D fucking Castlevania, but I do think when it was like presented to her, like she cared at that time.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think she cared at all. Because the only reason why she fought is because Asian lady had let them in. She literally was like, "We just have to stay in here until sunrise." She was not worried about killing them at
No,
all.
I think she knew she was gonna
She's
die.
like, "We just have to survive." Annie? No, she didn't. They was
she did.
They was trying to just
She
they
the
literally were
whole
just gonna
reason
shack up in.
she went up because she did
a second reading.
Yeah, she was doing a reading and then she gets a look on her face
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
she goes and she's like,
but I'm talking
"Hey
about.
man, we're probably gonna get fucked up here, but you got to promise to kill me."
No, I'm saying like, yeah, I'm talking about like just her initial like, she wasn't like trying to fight off the vampires. Her thing is like, we need to survive. Like it's not like, and then if push comes to shove, like you said, like kill me before letting me turn into a vampire. But she didn't. Like she's not like, oh yeah, let's make sure that the vampires can't hurt anybody. It's like, no, let's make sure we don't get hurt by the vampires. And if we don't let them in, they can't hurt us. We just have to survive until the sun's out. That's literally what she said. We just have to survive until sunrise. That's why I don't think she would have cared regardless. Like the thing is like I just not, and I don't mean this in a negative context. I kind of like that aspect of it. I don't think any of them are virtuous. Like that's the whole point. Like all of them have their own versions of
They're
demons. Like
kind of
they're
bad
they're all
people.
like, yeah, they're all
They're
pretty bad people,
sinners.
especially the twins. Like not being funny, but quite literally, like that's literally like that's the whole point in my opinion. So it's like my issues with it aren't these things because like
Hey, but they went to heaven.
I feel like it fits the theme. Like I feel like it fits the theme of it. Like okay, who's sinner? Hey, a saint is just a sinner who's fallen, who got back up.
Talk to me, John.
Like I
Talk to
hey
me,
hey
John.
hey everybody in heaven done sinned before. Unless you Jesus Christ, hey, you done sinned before.
Come
You
on,
cannot walk this earth and
man.
not sin.
I thought you had to atone first.
Everybody's a sin. Come on, man. You just gotta
Hey,
confess
we
to
don't know
Jesus
their
Christ as
atonement.
Lord.
Yeah, exactly,
Come on,
exactly.
that's
We
it.
don't
All
know
you
what
gotta
their
do is
atonement was.
confess.
That's quick.
Confess.
You don't know what
That's
their
2
atonement is.
seconds.
You don't know what their
You're
atonement
on your
is. So
deathbed.
like,
Come on, man.
Jesus Christ is Lord.
That's
Then just
that's
bow
the
the
that's
cheat
bone.
why
code.
that's why I just think like all those
Jesus
things
Christ is
like
Lord right
Nah.
all those
before
things
you die.
accumulated. It's
That
just
shit
like
gotta be genuine, bro. I think
This
if you
power
try to pull
system
that
seems
Jesus Christ is Lord,
busted.
blah, like your ass goes straight to hell, nigga. You going straight to hell, nigga. It's like, nah, you try to cheat the system.
Then you
Trying
get
to cheat
there.
the
and
system.
hey man,
the
that's not cheating the
Niggas-
system technically. That's
Niggas
not,
doing
that's
that their
those are
whole
the
life.
rules.
Yeah.
Their whole fucking life, bro.
Watch, you're
Right
gonna
before
get
they
there.
deathbed,
But
Jesus
but
You're
Christ
like
gonna
Lord.
get there and you'll be like, you picked the wrong
but
one.
just
How bad RNG, brother.
But yeah, so yeah, with those things like that's why I kind of like the fact that Stack survived. Like it just I like y'all said or like Sean said, fits are trash, terrible fits, 0 out of 10. Never do that shit again.
Mm,
It's like Halloween costumes, bad fits, bad cuts. But I think that little after credit scene moment, I liked it a lot because of like not just the aspects of blues, but like I said, like just showing how deep that connection is between just family and love. Like
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna respect my brother's wishes and not harm you. And like
mm,
I'm not even here to come fuck with you for real. I just want to hear you play, and then him hearing him play, and then that bringing it back to the first time that he actually like really heard him like sing and play, and how amazed he was, and how it's like this is what I did this all for. Like and
mm.
like even the conversation after when Sammy's like did like before that night happened, before all the shit went bad, did you have fun that day like I did? And then he's like, yeah, like I actually did. Like that was the most fun I had, and it was the last time I saw the sun. I think with
Mm.
those two things coming together, that's what I really liked about that scene a lot. Like it's just like damn, that's real as fuck. Like nobody said that they were ever good people. Like I know I should care technically, but in the
Mhm.
realm of this world, I don't care what him and Haley are doing. Like they could be killing
I don't give a
thousands of
fuck.
people every week. I don't care. I
They
genuinely because
sinners.
that's not the story. Yeah, that's not the story
You
for
know,
me to
you
care
know, you
about.
know what else too,
That's
Joe?
not my
Like
that's not
that
them.
makes me
Let's
not
do
give a
2
fuck
more minutes
is
on Sinners.
okay. Just
Wait,
real
Fidel
quick,
ain't
the
say
one thing
nothing.
that just give let me get this off and we'll let Del talk. But to your point about like not giving a fuck about them when oh is it when Stack said to Haley like I'll see you in hell or something like that, and either she said I'll see you in hell and he'd be like I'll be right there with you or something like that. Like once they kind of
Oh yeah,
established
I'll
that
make sure to
thing,
save. Yeah, I'll make sure to save you a seat.
save you a seat, right? Like once they kind of established that, and then I saw like the trajectory of like what they were doing like towards the end, I'm like, this is hell. Like this is like them like living in that space, like eternal, like where their souls are trapped. They can't rest, but they're both like, they had like a troubled, past with each other and things that, both of them might have wished they not did or this, that, and the third. And this is like the only way that they feel like they could truly have been together. So I
But
kind of looked at it in that
I,
way, and I'm
But
like,
isn't that
I
crazy?
I do
like
want to say
that.
because
But
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go long on
decision
this point.
for
I just
him,
want to
though.
say
They could just die.
I think I like their dynamic. I'm not gonna. We don't have to argue about it right now because I want Dale to go. But I like Mary and Stacks a lot. I thought that was really really interesting, especially for the time period that they were doing it and what like they went for her race, even though technically that is a race. We ain't gotta get back into that. But like I like the dynamic, especially like that little scene how Remic's like, so why is she in here? And like all that all that encompassing, I really like that because it's like exactly, but when you get the context, it really makes
Yeah.
things like hit home a lot harder, and I respect that
Mm-hmm.
a lot. But yeah,
Let me
that's all
ask
I
y'all
just
True.
want to say.
something real quick. If y'all situationship turned into a vampire, would y'all be mad if she just turned you into a vampire without asking?
Yes.
If I'm a
Absolutely.
if I'm a vampire,
I
like
stand
if I don't know and I'm just a vampire,
if your
like,
if your situationship turns into a vampire and then
no,
she
I know what
turns
you're saying.
you into a vampire.
I know what you're saying. I'm saying like if I am already a vampire,
I'm killing her ass, bro.
it's like I feel like your mind's already warped at that point. Like it seemed like them turning into a vampire kind of warped their brain.
Not enough
like,
for me not to kill
it's
her.
not like I don't think she did it out of the thing of like let's be together forever. It didn't
You
really seem like she was
you
doing it
want
out
me
of
to
that
answer
thing.
from
It was
my
just like
perspective? Do you want me
I will
to
burn
like
her ass
answer
into
from my
the
perspective or
fucking
from
sun, bro.
she was a
Stack's perspective?
vampire.
My perspective or
This is
Stack's
more of a
perspective?
question
I
for
want to know.
Twilight. sort of a situation.
Like I need to know what perspective.
No, even in Twilight they had the discussion.
Yeah, but they had like I think they had more of a, and I'm not saying they didn't have control as vampires because clearly they had different motives and stuff. But I think maybe it was more heightened. Is he just saying that in the context of the movie, or just a general question?
Posing a general question.
Oh,
no, I'm just it's come because of the movie because it happens in the movie.
But it's not in context of the movie. It's more like the
I'm
movie made
fine
you
with
think of
that.
this.
That's crazy.
If it's in context of the movie, then it's I'd have a different answer. But if we're just speaking in general,
if I at least have somebody to spend eternity with, I'm not mad. I ain't gonna lie
not even
to you.
your girl.
If we don't have a conversation,
I'm blowing her fucking. I'm doing.
That's what I'm
something to her.
saying. She just did that shit, bro.
If you turn,
dog?
If you turn, I'm gonna want you to turn me anyway. I'm gonna want you to turn. If you turn and we locked in, that's why I said what perspective.
Bro,
like even with Stacks,
it's a
but
situationship.
they are. But that's the thing. That's my point. They are locked in. Like they're so locked in that they can't be locked in. Yeah, see, y'all ain't been locked in for that's y'all.
I'm gonna throw her ass into
y'all,
the fucking
y'all.
sun, bro.
They locked in. They
are vampires able to procreate?
They so locked in.
No, I don't think so.
In this movie, we don't know. And in this movie,
if we're going off Twilight rules, no.
If we're going to Twilight rules, right?
Yeah.
No, in Twilight you can.
No, but she was human.
Bella was human.
She was human.
Yeah, Bella was human. That was the issue.
Yeah, but he's saying two vampires.
But two vampires.
Why? So wait.
The Cullens.
This is no. I just picked.
I can break it down for you.
Edward was fertile.
Apparently.
That's what I said.
That's crazy. How does that work?
How does he get erect? Because he has no blood flow.
Yes, that's what I was about to ask that question too. I was like, wait, what?
And apparently his stone is like his skin is as hard as stone. So it was like that
probably bricked
bass thing.
Yeah,
you know that shit that they use to like grind up herbs and the little
we don't need a visual. We don't need a visual.
That's what it's like.
We don't need a visual. We don't need a visual. We don't need a visual. We don't need a visual.
I think
we don't need a visual. That's crazy.
I'm
just saying two vampires can't because God said so.
Any final thoughts on any final thoughts on Sinners? Any final opinions?
Dale has final thoughts.
It shouldn't be anything higher than.
I'm good, man.
You didn't want to talk about the issue you had with the scene with Stack and Mary?
Shout out,
it was really good. Y'all did a good job unpacking this movie, bro.
Someone wants to go to bed.
I just wanted to say, man, a lot of issues I had with it was just more so like it was really the ending. Like I just because for me this wasn't like a vampire movie; it was more like a movie with vampires.
Yep.
And so like what was more important was like the setting, the time period, the characters. And so I felt like I just couldn't see why Smoke would let him live after going through what he went through with his girl. And I get it, and that's why I go back and forth on it because it's like, yeah, his girl did ask for it, but like, wouldn't Smoke, having seen how adamant she was, like take that and be like, okay, I can't let my brother live like that either. When he just like kill him, and another part of me is like, I could see why he wouldn't want to kill him because like, yeah, that's my brother, and like.
Maybe you think it would have been tough to do that, like two people he loved so dearly in one night. Maybe that could have got like toe
to toe with a vampire. There's some power scaling issues with that.
Maybe that's what it is.
Like maybe it could just be like an emotion, like I had to take the love of my life, and I got to take my brother away too. Like this, maybe I could have been too much. I don't know.
Maybe.
What about?
I also wanted to say like
toe to toe with a vampire.
Come on, man.
Let's let Tevin share his final thoughts.
I also wanted to say like, sure, I like what they did with Remy. I think that whole like the scene where you see Sammy playing and then there's like this like intermingling of people that already existed was like the demonstration of Sammy's power. And I think Remy saw that and was like, okay, yeah, I need him. Because I think that whole scene was kind of like from Remy's perspective, which is why you see like the house burning and like none of that stuff is actually happening like on their perspective. It's all like Remick seeing Sammy like exert that power, and like because of the nature of the movie being what it is, I don't think they need to like explain it. I think it's like find a way it is, but I could see somebody having an issue with it.
I just thought it would come back around.
I didn't think about that being Remick's perspective, and I feel like it's a movie I do need to see again. So
Tevin, did you notice the two NPCs that spawned in when the vampires
When they
swarmed the
started
cabin?
hooking.
Yeah.
Started hooking.
Did you guys notice that?
Random niggas popped in.
Yeah, two random guys just showed up so they could die.
They needed extra bodies.
Yeah. I'm not sure what you mean.
So you know when the lady is like, "Come on in, you bastards," and then they start swarming and they all line up. All our main characters are lined up. You see all of them.
Mm-hmm.
The vampires come through, and once they start hooking with the vampires, someone gets bit in the neck, but it's literally none of our characters. And then another guy gets like tackled onto the floor and killed. But again, it's none of the people that were lined up. It's like two random people that spawned in so that people could die.
That's funny. Yeah. We need more fodder, guys.
Yeah, we need more fodder.
That shit cracked me up. I was like,
I was like, oh my god, who died? And I'm looking around all the characters like, wait a minute,
what the fuck? What the fuck was that?
I did notice that. Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Very similarly to Dell, I'm ready to keep on pushing through. So,
now just go to bed.
I thought it was going to be you that was giving the "I don't want to be here" energy, but it's Dell giving the like this. This is the Sebastian doing the
It's
Thunderbolts
not,
ad, armed and
brother.
dangerous.
We could talk. We could talk
Again.
about it after the podcast, man.
Again.
That's
the energy.
Again.
well, we've only got like 2.5 more topics. We'll be moving into we'll be moving into our next segment, usual or unusual. Dun, 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 dun,
do we
dun.
That
Dun,
gorilla
dun,
is
dun,
dying.
dun, dun.
Did you just say, do we have unusual when you made the bullets?
No, the Expedition 33 thing was a part of that. And I
Hey,
think we only
buddy.
have one.
Hey, we still gotta talk about the gorilla.
Let me shut the fuck up. I'm not moderate.
Miss Moderator, moderate.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin, for the constant support. Like I was saying, I would love to move on to my next topic, usual or unusual. Dun 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 dun
You don't need
dun
it
dun
again.
dun dun dun.
I hope we get a cease and desist. I pray to God
That's
we get
crazy.
a CND, bro.
That's crazy.
In our topic of usual or unusual, we just highlight very quickly, but never quickly, some of the more not as important topics going on in the news cycle. So with that being said, I wanted to throw the floor. What is it? What's the saying? Throw the floor? I'm so bad at that. Open up the floor.
Pick up the ceiling.
Thank you. I wanted to I wanted to open up the floor to those of you who are willing to participate. We've got 4 clock minutes on the 100 men versus 1 gorilla. 4 clock minutes. I'm going to start with Joe. Go.
100 humans is killing a gorilla, bro. I'm sorry to tell you that. 100 humans are going to kill a gorilla, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Niggas are going to die. But
we
they're going to get the
continue.
job done.
Like they say in Expedition 33.
They're going to get the job done.
Continue.
Like they're going to get the job done. I want to preface this. Both the gorilla and the humans have to be bloodlusted. The humans and the gorilla have to be because gorillas are not aggressive and humans will run.
Gorilla.
So if everybody is bloodlusted, yes, 100 humans, even like the average human. I'm not even talking about like you ain't gotta get The Rock, you ain't gotta get Mike Tyson. Like you ain't gotta get Mike Tyson.
The way I'm picturing it is like the
that's facts because
like they're all just standing.
Because if you got like fearless folks on both, like there's no gorilla that's going to be like it's going to defend itself, and then after it knocks out the person that's attacking it, it's going to go about its business. It's not going to bother anybody. So unless everybody's just continuously agitating it, which after the first 3 people and they see that like them niggas get knocked off real quick, them niggas are gonna run. So everybody has to be bloodlusted in the situation. The gorilla has to actively like the gorilla has to
average.
They do the gorilla has to actively be trying to attack the 100 humans, and the 100 humans cannot have any fear in that moment and have to like actually be like, I want to kill this gorilla. So with those
That's
like
a big
parameters
ask.
set.
No,
That
we
shit's
can just
gonna
solve
be like
that
when
by
you play
pointing guns
Broly
down
in
at the
Dragon
pit.
Ball, and he don't flinch or nothing. You just try to punch that nigga and nothing happens, and he's gonna kill the fuck out you.
Listen, I'm thinking
That's
it's,
why you have to all be bloodlusted because
No,
it's not a
what the
one-on-one
fuck
thing.
does
Like
that
that's
mean?
everybody's looking at it as a
Bloodlust.
one-on-one thing. Like if you
only thing
want
you
if
can
you
do
want
is tire 'em out.
if
You're
it's
not
like
doing
if
no
it's like
damage.
100 niggas
You
if
need
it's
the
100 niggas
bloodlust.
lining up
Listen,
against a
they all
gorilla,
have to
that
be
shit's
KO
not gonna
kicked.
work.
It don't matter how much you
That
want to
shit's
kill
not gonna
him.
work.
You're not going to kill him until he's tired. Then maybe you can beat his fucking
That's
brain
the thing,
in.
you have to
Yeah, that's
wear
the point.
gorilla
That's the
down.
point.
You have to
Exactly.
wear
Yeah,
the
so you
gorilla
gotta
down.
sacrifice 50
That's-
niggas or whatever.
have
for
to
this.
It's not gonna be
wear the
50.
gorilla
It's gonna be
down.
like a
It's
smooth
gonna be
2025. It's gonna
won't
be
be
smooth
50, man.
2025.
Okay. So I did a little bit of research, and I guess I might have overestimated how strong a gorilla is, right? But apparently their strength gets up to about maybe 4 to 10 times, like average like human, right?
How much XP is that?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in a silly mood. Go ahead.
How
How
much
much
XP?
It's a
XP is that?
silverback gorilla
So it's like-
specifically,
so
by the
That's
way.
so silverback, right? So like if it's
Yeah,
if
they
it's
can throw
around that
anything
range,
like 2,000 pounds, bro. I want to know they can.
if it's
throw
around
a
that
ton.
range, if it's around that range, and in the tweet they said 100 niggas can do it if they're dedicated. So we're assuming that all 100 of these men are dedicated, right? Maybe fate of the world is like in this,
Shit, I
right?
can
Maybe
fly
their
right now,
children
I'm
are
dedicated.
being held
Yeah.
hostage. Everyone's kids are being held hostage. So this is all they have to do, right? If the
I can shoot
dedication is there,
because I want it.
if the dedication is there, max maybe 10 niggas or less are dying. And
I,
What class?
I'm not even
ten
saying that.
niggas or less are
A
dying.
bloodlusted
I'm not-
silverback is only killing 10 people.
Listen, yes,
I'm
only,
saying-
only,
I'm saying like
I'm
20 to
saying
25.
only killing
He's
10 people.
one
That's all
shotting at least
100.
10.
One at a
He's
time,
one
please.
shotting 10 niggas.
One at a
No,
time,
no,
please. Let's go to Carl.
listen,
One at a time,
listen,
please.
I think
Let's
there's
go to
going to be
Carl.
severe. Hold on,
One
let
at
me
a
finish.
time,
Can I
please.
finish? Can I finish?
No.
Let me
Ripping
finish.
niggas in
We
half.
want
I
to
can't
give
finish.
we want to give Carl a chance. Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, consider yourself edged, buddy. Anyways,
Wow.
I have a question about the size of these men. Like, pause. Are they like? Is there a weight class? Are
They're
they, like-
average men.
It's just
They're
average.
We're
Just
saying
like-
average men. We're
they're
saying
all
average men.
average.
Are they just picked in from a random pool? Are some of them buff? Or they're all just like
Is average
180,
weight of the average man,
175?
average height of the average man.
So like a bunch of 5
About
foot.
A bunch of 5'8", about 100.
When I'm thinking of
They're
Why
getting
do I have
packed.
to go in and Josuke doesn't have to go in?
I'm not normal.
When
I'm
not
not
being
like
funny,
you
when I'm
niggas.
thinking of 100
Yeah,
average men, I'm not
They
thinking
should
of
be
like,
niggas
oh yeah, we have to
wiping
get
out
we have to
them
get
niggas.
100, we have to get 100,
You don't need
5'8", 175.
buckling
No,
these anyways.
we're getting a medley of niggas to average men. We're getting average men out of the street. Like that's the point. Like it's more so
Squid
like
Games.
like
Picking
Louis
niggas
said,
up.
it's a pool, but we're not getting it like
A
we're
pool
not
of
getting
niggas.
the average like 100 of the average
like Squid
niggas. Like
Games.
that doesn't make sense.
Why does that
Like
make
we're
sense?
But
like
can
you're
I-
telling
can
me we're about to send 100 Naruto clones that like that's what like the same nigga 100 times. Like no, we're getting the
No,
average.
I'm
Y'all-
just
so
they're
what
not
is
the
the thing?
same,
Y'all-
dude, but just
you don't
like
think-
generally the same like build. is
You
what I
don't
mean.
think that one, the gorilla's gonna get tired, right? And
Yeah,
we're gonna have stamina
guaranteed.
on our side. We're gonna have stamina on our side. I just think it's like maximum
not
10
bone
niggas.
structure,
There's gonna be
not
there's gonna be
strength.
maybe a range of 15 to 25, critical condition. But 10 niggas for sure are dying. But I wouldn't say anything higher than 10. Because if we have all 100 rushing in on that gorilla from all separate sides, right? Like I said, dedication.
There's not enough
I
area
picture-
for 100
dedication.
people to do that. There's not enough
Dedication.
area.
Listen, I just picture
Dedication.
That's not how that
Dude,
works.
100 niggas is a lot of niggas, bro.
Yes, but you can't just rush all 100 in. That's not gonna work. How do
Yes,
you
you
No,
can.
no, no. You
No,
can have
no,
one guy.
no, I'm
you can
saying
have
you
one
got it-
guy
you got it on
get his
separate sides.
attention, You get his attention, and then the other guy jumps up, bang, back of the head.
Boom.
And we
That's
rotate.
crazy.
Yes, people are.
But
But
It's
I'm
very-
not gonna lie.
like-
That's
like-
and he's
what
going to
do
rip you in half.
Okay.
Like
No, it's like an F-14 rotation. Okay. We
Okay.
gotta
He
get a
doesn't.
rotation
This is the thing.
going.
The gorilla
Draw
doesn't
aggro.
have
Thank
six
you.
arms. The gorilla doesn't have 6 arms. Doesn't have all of these things.
Thank you.
If you get 30 niggas holding down one arm, they got that. They got that.
can 30
They
niggas
literally
fit on
have
one
that.
arm?
You get another 30 niggas holding down the
saying shit.
other arm, they got that as well, bro.
Okay.
And then if you get some niggas holding down the legs, gonna be a bit harder, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They holding down the legs, and then you got like 7 niggas punching him dead in his shit. It's like I believe in it.
He
I believe
lives-
in it. I
He used
feel
to,
like they
he
could
used
do
to be a
it.
non-believer.
I feel like they could do
Good
it.
to hear.
No, deadass. Like I started really thinking about it. I was putting it together when I figured out
fucking head off. He has twice the bite strength of a fucking lion.
Who he biting?
Okay, someone's dying. I'm not saying no one's gonna die. Someone's gonna get bit.
10. I think more than 10.
He might bite the first human and not like the taste. They might not want to do that shit anymore.
We are moving off of a lot.
Niggas are dedicated. We got this shit right here, bro. I'm telling you, we got strategy.
Move on.
I just want to say.
Okay.
Being acknowledged that we're saying a lot of hypotheticals for the ultimate hypothetical is kind of crazy in this context. I just gotta say, I just throwing it out there. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing.
I think humans will win. though.
Listen,
I do stand on that.
Miss Moderator,
the indomitable human
Miss Moderator,
spirit
save us.
can defeat anything.
Before we move on,
Gets punched in the chest.
I will ask Dell, is it usual or unusual 100 men versus one gorilla? One word, take us out.
The event itself
is usual, bro.
Okay, now.
They got it.
Okay, it's usual. Thank you, Dell. Thank you. Okay, so moving on to our final topic.
It's just another day.
Our final topic. We are going to talk about Shannon Sharpe and his OnlyFans model debacle. But before we do that, I want to give a thank you to our sponsors, Frigidaire Appliances.
Hello?
Hold on. We don't got no. Hold on. Hell no. Hell no. We don't got no sponsors. We ain't giving niggas free promo.
I want to give a thank you.
What the hell is that?
I want to give a shout out.
Mute her ass, Sean.
I want to give a shout out.
We're not sponsored by anybody.
I want to give a shout out.
Unless you're throwing the bag. Then we will.
Hell no. I'm about to give these niggas no.
I want to give a shout out to Frigidaire Appliances. Frigidaire, dare to expect more. All right.
Are you making shit up?
What
no,
the
that's
fuck?
real.
We cut all this shit out. Hell no.
What's happening?
Are you trying to get a free fridge
real.
or something?
No, that's very real. That's very real.
Maybe she's manifesting. Maybe she's manifesting. I don't know.
Man, hell no.
Dare
that shit
to
off the
expect
clock.
more.
Manifest it. Hell no.
What the fuck? The AC appliance?
Frigidaire.
Frigidaire in his house.
How you say you want this shit to go quicker, then you throw some bullshit at us like that?
I'm not even gonna say that company's name anymore. It's too much promo. I don't know.
Frigidaire, give me a free AC unit, please.
All right. Yeah, guys, the 11 people watching this is really going to make sure this gets to Frigidaire.
Yeah, that's tough.
I did this bit with Bob.
I
did this bit with Bob.
That's fucked up. Let me get
That's
fucked up.
Where's the hope?
Why did you do the ad read at all if you didn't think anybody was going to hear it?
I'm just saying, let the girl manifest. Tevin, again, it makes total sense that you were on my side. I was trying to manifest the sponsorship. But since I got so much flack, I'm like, well, damn. I mean, I hope the 18th person don't say, well, let me email Frigidaire real quick. I hope the 18th person who watches.
You know what? When this episode hits 50 views, I'm gonna make sure that
you can't be my moderator no more. We need a new motherfucker.
The last episode
we need more faith in this shit.
Summer's right around the corner.
Distant shit.
All I gotta say is there's a reason why the club exists.
Crazy.
There's a reason why the club exists.
I am being
you fucked up having a woman moderator
and positive.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
You fucked up.
Why Frigidaire though? Of all things,
we need to hire a nigga for this shit.
I need Miss Moderate to moderate herself so that we can get to this next topic.
Okay. Final topic. Shannon Sharpe is accused of graping a young OnlyFans model. The OnlyFans model has teamed up with the renowned lawyer, what's his name? Anthony Busby.
The infamous Tony Busby.
Tony Busby.
Tony Bozo?
Wait, why is he infamous?
He's known for teaming up with he's known for teaming up with people to take down celebrities, whether it is true or not, whether the allegations are true or not.
An example?
Yes.
He did the Jay-Z thing. He was
the recent one.
Yeah, with the
the
sexual assault of the minor. He did which this one is, I guess, gives him a little bit of credit, is the stuff that he did with Deshaun Watson. Do you know who Deshaun Watson is? The quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, who was apparently assaulting all of those women that that he was getting massages from.
Well, that definitely happened. So I don't think that's a great example, but
but I'm saying you have to paint the full picture because he was a part of like representing a bunch of women that were.
Do we?
Yes, you have to.
No, we don't.
If
I don't know, because then
you do because
getting representation. I think getting a lawyer to represent you is not an admission of anything. It's just you got that guy. So I think painting it as like he got some people that might have been lying, but he got some legitimate cases too, is probably like the neutral thing that you want.
That's what I'm saying though, because like I don't want to just make it seem like he's just going and targeting and he's just been fuck all like doing it for people that don't have legitimate stories or have a legitimate case for certain things.
But isn't that the narrative we want to paint?
No,
I don't.
I'm not on Shannon's side.
I'm sorry.
I am nowhere. I am nowhere near. I was going to say, I'm nowhere near on Shannon's side.
I wasn't sure where you were going with this. I'm sorry.
I hope he didn't. I hope he didn't sexually assault that. I hope he didn't sexually assault that young girl. But he was having interactions and he was fornicating with a 19-year-old. There's no excuse in the book for me as a 50-year-old man that's like just some shit that you do. Like I mean, I know niggas do it, but it's like it's nasty. I think it's nasty as fuck. I think it's weird as fuck. So
I don't think he assaulted her, but yeah, like Sean said, it is weird that he's with a 19-year-old. But I don't think he assaulted her. I think they just they were kinky. They were just super freaky. They were into some nasty stuff.
Did we say alleged?
That
Did anyone say alleged yet?
I think Yana might have.
No,
alleged. She said
everything's alleged.
Alleged.
It's all true.
All it takes is one representative to see this, and we all get lawsuits. We all got to give up the $50 in our shared bank account.
I do want to say though, I think the thing that's like the most shocking part about this is how, what's the word? Maybe tone deaf or just like Shannon's PR situation is probably some of the worst that I've seen in like an accusation.
I'm completely ignorant to all of this. Can you explain it?
So when
looked at anything.
when the accusation came out, allegations came out, he released a series of text messages that were coming from the alleged victim or the OnlyFans girl. And they, in that, like, the series of texts, they stated who the person was. It was the OnlyFans girl because she wanted to be known as Jane Doe, but they exposed her to who she was, like, gave out, said her information. And in these messages, it was like saying a bunch of freaky, weird shit. Like, I want you to put a big black baby in me. I want you to give me your baby gravy. Something about
He's
charging.
saying it to Shannon?
She's saying this to Shannon, saying like, I want to, is it like lick your ass or eat your ass or touch your ass and marry you? Something around there. And she also said something like 25,000 per cheek or something like that, right? Like, these are all texts that he decided to put out there. Like, at the time when she decided to be Jane Doe, her age was not revealed, nor her name. So we didn't have this information. But Shannon put this information out there as a way to kind of clear his name, to show like, hey, this relationship that we had was just sexual. But then, now that we know when they had interactions, people start looking up her age and they start looking up who she is. And it becomes something that's like even worse of a situation as if he just didn't decide to handle it. Like,
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I don't know who cares about that except us. Honestly, I don't think most of the public
age.
Cares.
Hold on.
I'm talking about his PR situation.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about public image because this is a civil suit.
But think about it like this. Would you? I'm not saying that either of these options is a good option. But given Shannon's situation, would you rather be seen as a rapist or some weirdo that likes younger girls? I think there's one clear option in this situation. Not saying either one is right, but there's one really, really bad one and one that's just legal. Like, okay, you're a weirdo because why are you dealing with people that are like 20 years old, like 19, 20 years old?
I understand.
I see what you're saying.
Sean's just talking about the PR
I get it. It's not.
I'm talking about
it's
talking about
damning
in
terms
terms
of
of
PR.
PR.
No, hold on.
I'm talking about in terms of PR. No, that's right. But that's what he's putting out.
One at a
Yeah,
time.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
This is not.
I
he's
think
not
I
been
think
doing
I think
a
we
good
can
job.
I think we can sum it up
that's what I'm
as
saying.
legally you would want one over the other, but image wise they're both
Hold on.
bad.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying because even before she came out, the allegations were already out there of him being a rapist. That's the issue. Like if it was just like, oh yeah, Shannon Sharpe is going through a civil suit right now, maybe some sexual assault or whatever it is, like maybe that's a little bit less, but like that's its own thing. But the accusations of grape and then him like you said, what's what I'm thinking of? Public
Court of
opinion
public
is
opinion.
very it it's gonna run with things as soon as you get the allegations, regardless. So I think yes, I'm not saying I'm not saying that the situation itself is right, but like if I'm going to be out in the public anyway, yes, I'm going to out you, and then yes, I'm also going to make it. I'm gonna let y'all know this was consensual. Like whatever was going on, whatever we said, like it was a consensual thing between the two of us. Yes, it's you might think it's weird that I'm talking to this 19-year-old. I'm 56 years old. I didn't grape her though. I want to make sure y'all know as people, I did not like force myself onto this girl at all. I think that is the smarter public opinion move, given that he loses regardless. And like just in terms of the public opinion, he loses regardless. But like what else are you to do unless like people
I don't
I
think
think
this
he's
is the. I
cooking.
don't think this is the smart move in my opinion
I think
because
he's cooking. I think he's cooking.
I don't think so because this isn't a situation where the grape allegations are gone. Like they're still there. And it's like to me, you just added more fuel to the fire of like, hey, you're a weirdo, you're doing this weird type of shit. Like if you're dating women that age and you already have allegations surrounding you too as well, like it's not a hey, he's either this or this. It's going to be a lot of people looking at you to be like, we're writing, and I'm not saying everybody's doing this because there is, people that are thinking like Joe and I'm kind of more in line. Like, I don't think he did it, but I really don't know at the end of the day. But there are going to be people that are like, just going to look at like, this is a disgusting human being that is even capable of doing something like this. They're just going to put him in a box of like someone who is capable of sexually assaulting somebody. So I don't think it's like, yeah, like it's just either going to be this or this. I'm saying that his personal moves, there are ways that you could have maybe exploited like that information without like saying who she is and or I don't know. I just feel like he could have went about it a different way instead of like throwing out those texts and stuff like that cuz I just feel like his public image is just like in the gutter right now. Cuz like it's just nasty. Like it's nasty. Like we're seeing the text messages and all of these things. I don't know. Like it's like I guess public image suicide in a way. That you're just like, yeah, just fuck it. I'm just gonna do this. I don't even think that he's thinking like big brain play like that. I really just think Shannon is just out here like not really consulting with professionals for real.
I don't think it's a big brain play. I think it's literally just like I'd rather not be known as the rapist. I'd rather be known as literally anything else. I don't think it's a super big brain thing. It's just like because like that's why I don't think he cares that people think he's like people or know that he's into race play. I don't think he cares. I don't think that matters to him. So he can put these things out and not being funny. He's already known as Uncle Shay Shay, the freaky deek. I got caught on IG Live. He's known as that persona already. So like to him, all these things that are being said, bro, and again not be. He's an old head. We know how these old heads talk. These old ass niggas, bro, they're weird. Like, bro, they be saying the foulest shit. So like him being into a girl, being like, put your like big black baby into me, put that baby like that. He gets off on that kind of weird, like nasty kind of rhetoric. So he don't care that people are seeing that part of it. That's why I don't like it. To him, like, yes, it is a bad PR stunt, but it fits into his already made image, opposed to being a rapist, like a sexual assaulter. I just think it's so far like it's so different in terms of like how it's viewed. That's why I said like regardless, both are viewed bad. I just
The
think one
shit
is
not
so
working at the end of
negative.
the day. I just feel like his stock is just tanking even worse.
I think that was,
Like
but I think that was
don't
gonna
think
happen regardless. I think that was gonna happen
yeah, I mean,
regardless.
I just don't know. I just feel like the entirety of like all his decisions, even him going and like making the video and calling the whole situation a shakedown and this and that and the third. It's like he's got to defend himself in some type of way, but it's just like I don't know if I agree with everything that he's doing surrounding the situation. I definitely don't agree with the situation. It's just weird, man. It's really weird. It's really weird.
Super weird. Super weird.
And I'm disappointed because I do fuck with Shannon, bro. I really do. And it's just unfortunate that he just one of them nasty ass niggas. I gotta put him in the Leonardo bag, you know? It's tough. It's just tough.
Any final thoughts on Shannon Sharpe being sick?
I don't think it's necessarily the same as Leonardo, but I can see you putting in the same bag.
What you mean?
Would you like to expound on that?
I could be wrong, but did Shannon Sharpe say he exclusively only go for 19, 20-year-olds?
He was talking about it. He was saying that he couldn't leave him alone when he was
in
talking
the
about
last
Monique.
week.
And she was saying, you need to stop going for them young girls. And he was like, I can't leave him alone.
I thought you said white girls.
No, she was talking about young girls. She was like, you need you an old bitch. She said, you need one of them ones that.
Yeah, Williams talking about white girls.
Yeah, there's been a series of clips for both.
Yeah, she's talking about younger. She's like, you need an old bitch, one that's gonna take care of you and do this to you and make you a sandwich. He was like, you around here trying to chase them young girls is doing this.
Let me just make sure I say allegedly. Allegedly, bro, we all know Shannon Sharpe saying that because he like to play for the Cootie Cat. He like to pay. He ain't trying to be in no relationship, bro. He trying to get his, get it out, and boom. That's all that is, bro. Like, and yeah, when you in that field, that's like I said, it's just a weird field in general. So you gon' that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Shit weird all
and
around.
This is all alleged.
Yeah, I can't get down with
all alleged.
I don't think he assaulted her personally. Just from what we've seen, obviously that can change with more evidence or whatever. But that shit, it's a bad look. That shit's trash, bro.
Why does sex have to be the downfall of like all of these celebrities like who have these platforms and shit like that? Because it's like you could just be smarter in some type of way, and maybe that's a lot harder because like once you have access to shit, it's hard to maybe control urges when you can literally get anything that you want. But it's like you in no way, shape, or form are you like looking at all of these things happen to the people around you or like in like you're in the entertainment business and like your peers, and you just like, maybe I need to chill the fuck out, or maybe I need to like really watch and think.
If you don't see it as a problem, then how are you going to know it needs to be regulated and you need to chill out?
But I just feel like you
can know it's a problem, not be disciplined. You can just lack discipline.
That too.
I feel like I feel like he knows that's like frowned upon. I feel like
if especially if other people around him are into it and doing it, I mean, it's culture. I mean, they call it Hollyweird for a reason.
It's unfortunate, man. You know what I'm saying? It had to be the nigga that graduated from Savannah State, had to be him. Dear God.
Your hometown, yes sir. Rep your city.
All right, dude.
Rep your city.
Nigga, you don't even know what city you was born
Rep
in.
your city. Wiesbaden, fuck nigga. Get off my dick.
Oh, brother. That's probably how you say it.
Yeah, Guten Tag.
Yes, it is. Wiesbaden. Wiesbaden. Fuck nigga.
Yeah.
Fuck nigga.
Bro. Yeah. Oh, you don't know shit. You don't know shit over there. You don't know shit about that over there.
Wiener Schwitzel. Bitch.
He almost said the N-word. We can let that shit slide.
Auf Wiedersehen.
This was a great pod, guys. Same time next week. Turn off your phone
and roll over in bed.
I know, right? Same time.
Jesus.
Same time next week. And signing out. Peace, love, blessings, and Jesus Christ is Lord. Thank you, everyone.
You are saved.
Okay.
What was that about?
Yeah, that was
trying to say.